Welcome to What the Flick, everybody, the only movie review show where we respect each other's opinions.
Sometimes.
I'm just kidding. We don't respect each other's opinions.
I think you're wrong about saying that.
We're going to begin.
I don't care what you think.
We're going to begin today with Sanctum, starring Ioan Gruffudd.
It is the last unexplored territory in the world.
Our spirit to Esa-ala, the mother of all caves.
Trust me, you're gonna love this.
What could possibly go wrong diving in caves?
Sanctum, it's the story of a crew of cave explorers who are in one of the apparently largest caves in the world.
Yeah.
And they think that it's got some secret exit out into the ocean in Papua New Guinea, and the front of the cave collapses, and now they're forced to find a way out.
What the hell was that?
Now! The storm has turned into a cyclone! Dad, the cave is flooding!
You think? You'll find another way out. We're heading back down.
I can't do this. I'm not a diver.
You can do this because you have to do this.
I don't want to die down here.
I gotta get out of here, or mine.
We follow the river all the way to the ocean. This way.
You sure?
Nope. I'll see you on the other side.
Could have picked a better choice of words.
Wow.
Aren't you excited about this?
I was so excited before I saw it, and then I was handed the 3D glasses, which weighed 9 pounds, and pulled my head down.
To help facilitate sleep.
So, you are as against 3D as I am.
I am not a big fan of the 3D, unless it's like Piranha 3D and they just go for the gimmick and it's gnarly. But this is, James Cameron's name's all over this. And he did pioneer a lot of underwater 3D. So it actually is shot in 3D.
It looked pretty good for 3D.
It looked pretty good. James Cameron did not direct this.
No.
Although I think the ads kind of make it seem like
Right.
he did. Also, given the underwater stuff going on, a guy named Alistair Grierson directed this. James Cameron executive produced it, sort of lends his name to it. But it plays like a parody of a James Cameron movie, because you have all these idiots with the macho shithead bravado and trying to one-up each other, and they're parachuting into caves, and they're seeing who can rappel down some ridiculously harsh surface the fastest, and I kind of was hoping they would cannibalize each other.
there was a
surf and turf thing going.
Wasn't there a moment there when you thought they might dig in? Although hunger was never really a big theme.
Yeah, I really wanted this movie to be better than it was, and I was really disappointed, because it seems like there's a couple moments where they start making tough decisions based on what they need to do to survive in a situation like that. One of the guys early on, as they're trapped, falls, gets washed away by water and hits a bunch of rocks and broken a bunch of bones, and it turns out, oh shit, he's still alive.
Right.
And the leader of the expedition, played by Richard Roxburgh, it's nice to see, the Australian that guy get a lead role. Mm-hmm. Makes the decision that, oh well, we're gonna have to drown him because we can't take him with us.
Right.
And holds him underwater. And it's that kind of thing that you read, you think about, like if you read a book like Into Thin Air. Right, where it's the brutally tough decisions people have to make to survive a situation like that.
They even talk about Up on Everest.
Right. And the girlfriend of Ioan Gruffudd's Richard Branson type character, who's experienced on Everest, and she says things like, you can't take time for the dead. You start thinking, okay, this is going to be a really gritty, tough movie about the really hardcore decisions you have to make. And that does that for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it just completely pisses it away. And it's like, oh, I don't get along with my dad. Let's try and make peace. Oh.
But it's more about like the cheap thrills, I think, than even trying to delve into their really facile daddy issues. It's more about just who's going to get washed away and what sort of ridiculous thing will they fall off of.
Because you got a bunch of actors you don't know. You really don't know who's going to buy it. Like you can't predict sort of how it's going to go, because everybody could at any moment fall and smack their head on a rock.
There's
or
no
drown.
big star that you have to see make it to the end.
Right. You know that they may die at the end, but you know that, so you don't know who's going 30 minutes in. I mean, people, they die like that.
I would say, though, that because they are kind of interchangeable in that regard, I also don't care who lives and who dies.
Oh, totally. I didn't give a crap one way or the other. I'm just saying, it was at least a little game I could play.
Right. And having said that, the person who ends up living all the way through...
And maybe there's more than one.
I was not surprised by it at all. You kind of see it coming. This person cannot die.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. And then I don't know what the you figure that the guys who are it ends up being a peculiar lesson, because it's just the toughest survive.
Like, don't dive into a cave in the middle of BFE.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and if
That's what's in your lesson.
But if you're not experienced, then whatever, then you're gonna die. That's sort of partly the lesson. Although there are a bunch of twists, and you don't. I'm trying to save people a little bit, like throw a brother a bone here. I mean,
let's discuss the 3D real fast if we can. Do we care about the 3D?
And I hate it. It looked a lot better than the Green Hornet, but I didn't like it.
I mean, it looks better than most conversions because it actually was shot in 3D. But I saw the trailer for this when I went to see The Housemaid, and it looks perfectly beautiful in 2D.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I actually think in a weird way the 3D takes away from the claustrophobia that the movie tries to impress upon you, right? Because you're supposed to feel that you're trapped in this little tiny space, underwater, and that's an especially wrapped up in all this scuba gear.
Yeah, there are a lot of moments where they're sort of scuba-ing through really tight spaces, and you're supposed to feel claustrophobic.
Right, but good. When the artificial 3D effect makes things feel like it's dozens of feet away, it's like, well, it's not that scary.
As long as you got to put those glasses on, man. First of all, if you wear glasses, you got to put the glasses on. It freaking blows.
Maybe you should get your own pair of prescription 3D glasses because 3D is not going anywhere.
Yeah, and I'll just carry them around with me everywhere I go.
In case there's a 3D movie coming.
Totally makes sense.
It can happen at any moment.
I think we all know where this is headed. Grades?
I'm probably janking the score up. I gave it a 4.
3.
I gave it a 4. It's going to pull the overall grade all the way up to a rousing 3.7.
That's fair.
Skip it. You'll be better off.
Never give up.